Well, the Army has a new sub gun, and today we're going to review that sub gun and compare it a little bit to the gun that it replaced. This is the B&T APC Pro in 9mm. These are also offered in 40, 45, and I believe 10mm. They even have some integrally suppressed versions as well. And I'm going to give you the straight up facts about this gun, in my opinion, including the pros and cons, and is it really a better MP5 alternative. I'll talk about all of that, and of course, if you like what I do, including honest gun reviews just like this one, 7 best guns, comparisons to different guns, even some World War II guns, and of course, rifle and pistol reviews, make sure you subscribe down below. And if you want to join the SHOT team and gain access to some pretty cool perks, you can do that on Patreon or right here on YouTube. Let's go and get into it. So let's start with the features of the gun. The first being the tri-lug adapter up here. I don't think that's by mistake because the MP5 has used a tri-lug adapter for a really long time. We also have ambidextrous charging handles. This is one of the pro features. So they lay flush against the receiver, but they have relief cuts. So whenever you run your finger along the side of the receiver, that charging handle is going to pop out, allowing you to cycle the gun, and then it's going to fall back into place. We have 2 M-LOK slots, one on each side, and then Picatinny rail on the top and bottom. So like other B&Ts, it has a fairly small overall profile, and you'll notice, just like some of the other PDWs that I will mention in this video, you have very little room in here from the front of the handguard to the actual muzzle. So this one actually has a hand stop right there, so you don't get too close to the end of that muzzle. It is a blowback design, so of course you have a good amount of mass in that bolt, but it's a fairly short stroke, fairly short action on the bolt there. Ambi everything, so safety selector, which again is super easy to get to. You have your bolt release and your magazine release. Now, one thing that I did notice on the bolt release is it is super stiff right out of the box. And again, you want to make sure you get your hand out of the way. It's non-reciprocating, but of course it's, the charging handle is going to go forward when you drop that. You may have to run some rounds through it to really kind of get that thing loosened up quite a bit. Magazine release, again, is right under that. And yeah, fully ambi gun. Another cool thing that they do is they actually have interchangeable mag wells. So they have their own B&T mags, which I'm not overly impressed with. I don't know, they kind of look like the old Strybog mags to me. I don't know that I would trust these fully, but you can get those mag wells that actually accept Glock or P320 mags. So you have quite a few options there, which is pretty cool. Now they go with MOE on a lot of their pistol grips. For some reason they decided not to do that on this one. It's got a fairly weird design. You know what it actually reminds me of is like the old school Ruger P91s. I don't know why. I think those have kind of like those lines in the pistol grip, but that's what it reminds me of. And then of course we have the side folding brace. Boom, just like that. And of course the gun can be operated in this configuration. It actually has a little notch on the backside of the brace, which will allow you to lock that under the front of the receiver there, and then quickly can deploy that out. Now this one doesn't swing like some of the other ones that we've reviewed, but still you're able to get that back into place if you need it. My friend that owns this gun actually is rocking a Trijicon MRO on the top, and overall, like I said, it is an incredible looking gun. When it comes to PDW, some of them are a little bit weird, just a little bit odd looking. Some of them look really awesome, and I know this is kind of one of those things that some people get really upset when I talk about aesthetics, but let's be honest, it's like motorcycles, maybe not to that much extent, but it is similar. You want your gun to look good, I mean, there's a reason Terran Tactical, John Wick, all these kind of sexy guns out there cost as much as they do. A lot of it is not just the name, but the fact of who it's associated with and how it looks. And when it comes to a MP5 replacement, which is probably the pinnacle of amazing looking PDWs, this one is right up there. So it definitely has the cool factor, and it's got a cool price for it as well, coming in at, you know, anywhere from, on the cheapest side I've saw $2,500, but mostly 3 to 35, somewhere in there, I guess, depending on what you get. These braces on these things can get really expensive too, because this has a feature in it that not a lot of these guns possess, and that is a hydraulic buffer. Now basically what we have is a little shock absorber back here. So every time the bolt comes back, it presses up against that and it gives it somewhat of a cushion, keeping that recoil down. Now 9mm isn't known for having a ton of recoil, and this gun is, you know, just over 6 pounds. But at the same time, you could tell that there was something going on the inside here. It was super light recoiling. Now, of course, this is semi-auto only. I've shot the MP5 in full auto, and I can tell you, I was kind of blown away at how smooth that gun actually is. But I guess I shouldn't be surprised because that's kind of its claim to fame, plus its reliability. By the way, the trigger on this gun, not as good as some of the B&T, specifically the 5.56 and 308, but still very nice for a stock trigger. I see no need in having to change really anything on the gun. Breakdown, by the way, super simple to keep this clean. I think overall, this is an incredible gun. I mean, the Swiss and B&T, you know, over the past, I don't know, a couple months since I've actually spent some time with all three of these guns, they're just on another level. So, you know, with all that said, should the B&T, though, replace the MP5? And that's where I hesitate just a little bit, because for all the nice features on the B&T, and for as nice as it shoots, to me, I don't see where it offers anything better. Obviously, maybe it's a better pricing. Maybe, you know, they drop the pricing for, you know, the military contracts, which always comes up in these discussions, and rightfully so. And maybe the R&D we're paying for on the civilian side. All I know is that B&T and Swiss, you know, they have impressed me with all three B&Ts that I've reviewed and shot over the past couple months. I just don't know that it mitigates the recoil as much, or makes that big of a difference to swap over from the MP5. But one thing I will say, when you compare how you mount optics, the accessories, and all of that, that's where the B&T clearly shines over the MP5. You got to remember, these things came out in the 60s. This was a part of a four-gun design by H&K to have their roller delayed blowback. And that is a testament to how good this gun is. Super iconic, from the SAS storming the Iranian embassy to Die Hard and Call of Duty and other things that I've talked about. The MP5 is incredible, and it's incredible in full auto, but I've had a chance to shoot this in full auto. I haven't with this one. So maybe, just maybe, if I were to get these back-to-back, two full autos, this conversation would be a little bit different. I do like the compactness of this gun. I think that is pretty special, but there's also, you know, other versions of this gun, including the K series, which is a lot smaller than what you see here. So I don't know that it is worth it, in my opinion, but I do see some of the benefits in the B&T over the little bit dated MP5. But when it comes to it, both of these guns are PDWs. They have their limitations, but they also have their places, and they're both a lot of money. I mean, they're both worth a lot of money. They're too much money, in my opinion, for what you get. But again, that's just my opinion, and everybody has one. Do I think it's a superior option to the MP5? Not really. Do I think it's a really great PDW? Absolutely. So that's where I'm at with it. But course, I want to hear from the community. If you think I'm totally off base, or you agree, or you want to leave your own opinion, I'd love to hear that stuff down below. And again, if you like what I do, consider subscribing and become a member of the SHOT team. You get some really awesome benefits for not a lot of money, and you support us at the same time. Big thanks to you guys. See you in the next one. And as always, hold 'em down.